Year 9 simultaneous equations. A number of you were a bit worried about doing the homework on simultaneous equations, so I thought I'd go through a couple of questions, hopefully to give you a point in the right direction or a starting point. So if we look at the first question, and this is on page 200, and it's question 8. That's where I'm starting. I have 9x plus 8y equals 17, and I have 2x minus 6y equals minus 4. Now there are a number of steps we need to follow for us to be able to solve this simultaneously. If you do not have these written down in your book, and you should, please make a note of them. Number 1. So the first move we're going to either make the x's or the y's of the same value. So what we want to do, we want to make our variables, in each equation equal. And actually it's not both variables we want to equal, we just make a variable in each equation equal. So let's have a look. What are we going to do? Here we are, we've got 9x here, we've got 2x here. Tell you what, if I times this all by a 2 and this whole thing by 9, that should work. So let's try it. The first equation, timesing everything by 2. So 9 times 2 is 18x. 8 times 2 is plus 8, so it's now plus 16y. And 17 times 2 is 34. I now want to times the whole of equation 2 by 9. 2 9s are 18x. Minus 6 times 9 is minus 54y. And minus 4 times 9 is minus 36. We have our two equations. Now, what we want to do is we want to now do something else. Okay, and this time we want to either add or subtract our equations. And we're going to decide that by using different signs we add or same signs subtract. What does that mean? So have a look here. Looking at the sign in front of the x's, and I'm looking in front of the x's because we've now made the x's equivalent or the same size. So looking at this and this, sign in front of both is a hidden plus sign. So they are the same sign. So we are going to subtract the two equations. And when we subtract the two equations, these cancel each other out. We now have 16y, and we take away minus 54y. That's the same as saying 16y plus 54y. Okay, so 16 plus 54 is 70y, and 34 minus 36, that means we add those two, that's 34, 40, 50, 60, 70. Right, the next step, let's look at this. What is our next step? Well, now we want to solve to find a variable. So we're now going to know if we divide both sides by 70, we know y equals 1. Well, great start. If y equals 1, we now want to find out what x is. So following on from there, how do we find out what x is? Well, what we're now going to do is, fourth step, substituting into equation to find other variable. Let's have a look at that. So let's use any equation. I'm going to use equation 1 at the moment. And in using equation 1, I've got 9x plus 8 times 1, because y is 1, which is 8, equals 17. If I'm minus 8, I have 9x equaling 9, and therefore x equals 1. Oh, I now have two values, a y and an x value. Final step. Let's use white. Fifth and final step is to check our answer using substitution. There we are. Now, I'm now going to substitute into the equation I've not yet used. And the equation I haven't yet used, remember here? I used equation 1. So I haven't yet used equation 2. So I substitute into that. So let's try it. 2 times 1, which is x, minus 6 times 1 equals, 2 1s are 2, minus 6, well, that's minus 4. What did I want it to equal? Oh, minus 4. That means I've got the question correct. So what I'd like you to please do is to make a note of this. These are the steps that you're going to need to follow every time you do these questions. Good luck with the homework, and go to Maths Workshop if you are still unsure.